And we are joined by one of the hottest outlets for your healthcare. And we're talking about Walgreens. Let me welcome to the show the Senior Vice President and Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer for Walgreens under the Walgreens Boots Alliance, the one and only Alethia Jackson. Welcome.
Hi, Dr. Hunter. So happy to be here.
Oh, no, nope. Not a doctor. I don't even try to play one. I try to bring on as many doctors and experts as possible. I'm just a question asker. So welcome. I was going through your website and I was like, Walgreens black as hell. Y'all real black. A lot of black people in positions of power. What does that mean for us in our neighborhoods?
So for us, one of our goals is to ensure that as we look at our leadership and our workforce, that we're reflecting the communities in which we serve. And so what it means is that when we think about who's at the table as we're making decisions that impact communities of color, that we have diverse representation that bring voices, to the needs and to the problems that we see in community, but also as we look to fashion solutions, that we have a diversity of thought in that process.
Somebody in our Nubia chat said Walgreens is a dividend aristocrat, which that's a Thrive Thursday conversation. But we love stocks and not the market right now because it's this. But what has been the hallmark of Walmart's success? Walgreens' success over the last, say, decade.
So what's been the hallmark is being local, being hyper local and being in community. So we have over 9,000 locations across the country and our team members reflect the communities in which we serve. So it's allowed us to be agile. It's allowed us to be in tune with what we're seeing as specific needs, and those needs vary based on what community they're in, and being able to serve those patients and consumer needs. So I think that's what's been one of the hallmarks. And we saw that during the pandemic as we launched our vaccine equity initiative. And so we were able to quickly say, we are going to be receiving and administering vaccines. Are we ensuring that we are serving those communities that have been disproportionately impacted? And let's really build a program to ensure that we're doing that with community voices. So one of the key elements was partners. And so we operated under education and information access and partners. And so we were able to partner with community and civic-based organizations to ensure, again, that we were meeting those needs. So being able to be local and in the community.
Having access to vaccines was super important during the pandemic for free. Being able to schedule and go in and get vaccinated was an important element and component. Now, what's the focus? What is the focus in the community in terms of serving?
Sure. So the focus is, one, ensuring that we are looking at health inequities. One of the things that the pandemic highlighted, again, was where we had sort of disparities in care. What we know is that communities of color, are still under indexed for certain vaccines. Vaccines have always been one of the hallmarks of the work we do. And so ensuring that we're continuing to educate around that. For years, we've had a flu voucher program where we have given a number of vouchers across the country to ensure that people had access to flu vaccines. And so continuing to work on looking at overall vaccine equity, and looking at some of the social determinants of health as well, when we think about what's impacting community health, especially in those medically underserved areas.
We're talking with Alethia Jackson. She is the Senior Vice President, Chief Diversity and Equity and Inclusion Officer for Walgreens. I struggle with the DEI because I feel like in many companies, it's a box checked. I don't feel that way with Walgreens, but many companies, maybe including this one, this is like, oh, we checked this box, now leave us alone, people. We have this under control. What does that mean for you being in this position for Walgreens? Is it personal? Because I know you're from Brooklyn and, coming up, I guess, maybe it is a little more personal for you.
So yes, thanks for the shout out to Brooklyn. Absolutely. Through and through. So, I'll start here. So Walgreens has had a chief diversity, equity, inclusion officer, and it used to be a chief diversity officer for over a decade. So this isn't new work for the company. This wasn't launched in, many places. It's a newer practice. And so it's something that has been instrumental to how we look at our workforce, how we look at our patients and our customers. There's a letter from Charles Walgreens that dates back to, I believe, 1928, where he says that to pay Black pharmacists the same as you pay white pharmacists. So it's something that's been in the core of our business since the inception. And we continue that practice and we continue to challenge ourselves. So we don't rest on our laurels. We continue to create new goals each year. We have goals that are tied to bonus metrics. Our board is very aware and very engaged with what we're doing on DEI. And so we see it as a continual work, but we see it as an integral part of our business.
We have these conversations about, as I mentioned, stock prices, and somebody just said, Walgreens gets the nod because of their leadership. They're Black. As a Black woman, I'm sold. That's it, and representation should matter when we're talking about leadership, just to have a diversity and equity inclusion officer and have nobody on the board and have nobody in leadership doesn't at all address the issues of a lack of care in a community, and just because you're Black doesn't mean that you care. So I want to be clear about that. All skin folk ain't kinfolk, but there is, you have a vested interest in making sure that you're serving when there's enough of you there that are in there with that purpose. So I just wanted to say that. What is the Boots Alliance?
So that's our Walgreens Boots Alliance is our global holding company. And so it came about as a result of our merger with Boots, which is a UK-based pharmacy. So Walgreens is the US pharmacy division and Boots is our pharmacy division.
Got you. So y'all are all over. So when someone goes into a Walgreens, wherever they are in one of the 9,000 locations, what can they expect?
They can expect to be treated with dignity and respect. They can expect to have good counsel from our pharmacists. Our pharmacists take their role very seriously and they look at patient and customer health. And so when you walk into our pharmacy, sometimes that is the healthcare practitioner that someone is seeing most in any given year. And so they answer a host of questions from medication adherence to flagging that someone, may be having an attack of some sort, that someone's blood pressure is high, that they should go to an emergency room. You really should expect to receive care as well as wise counsel. And you should expect to have products that meet the needs of that community and the desire of the community. Supplier diversity is a big initiative for us, and we want to ensure that we continue to have diverse suppliers and diverse products on our shelves. And so you should also expect to see that.